Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for allowing me to make my first council speech about the Mayor of London's Vision Zero approach, which seeks to eliminate deaths and injuries from our roads. I have skin in the game, as my dad, Robert Thomas Apps, was fatally injured on New Year's Day 1999, aged 56, when he was hit by a careless driver. The full horror was witnessed by one of my sisters. There were no goodbyes. The hardest part for me has not been how painfully I've missed him, though painful it has been, but that all his grandchildren were too young to remember this kind, funny and clever man. I make this speech in honour of him. It is thanks to my dad that I'm here at all. I certainly get my radicalism from my Plaid Cymru voting Welsh father. As a young man, he was arrested campaigning against nuclear weapons. He then emigrated to Scotland, where I was born, and I was lucky enough to be brought up by my mum and dad in a pollution-free village in the Highlands. As children, he encouraged us to explore the world we live in, speak our mind, and he never belittled our ideas. And, of course, I expect the same from the group opposite. I'm glad to say that he lived long enough to see his daughters graduate from university, the first in our family to do so, and met my beautiful baby girls. He was also proud to see me campaign for a Labour government. He gets most of the credit and absolutely none of the blame for his children's politics. And if he'd survived the collision, well, who knows? He could have been shackled to an oil tanker for Extinction Rebellion right now. Or perhaps he'd be sitting upstairs in the balcony, a proud dad. Like all families, when losing a loved one to an untimely, unexpected and unnecessary death, we thought, we don't want this to happen to anyone again. But whilst road deaths have reduced since he died over 20 years ago, too many families are decimated by similar and far worse tragedies. In 4 years, from 2014, 18 children were killed or seriously injured on Wandsworth roads alone. In March, a young woman, only 28 years old, was killed crossing Wandsworth Bridge. She didn't even get to see her 30th birthday. And I think of the families of 2 young people who were killed in July on Latchmere Road. Across London in 2021, 75 people were killed, 3,505 seriously injured. Let's be honest, such carnage, if caused by gun or knife crime, would see urgent calls for action, and quite rightly so. The London Mayor recognises that action is needed. His vision is to eliminate all deaths and injuries by collision. To achieve Vision Zero, we must support a shift away from car ownership, encouraging sustainable, affordable car clubs. We must ensure vastly more journeys are undertaken by public transport and through active travel. And we must design streets that release us from the car-first legacy of old. In delivering the Vision Zero strategy, we can achieve so much more than simply cutting road deaths. This vision will also contribute to decarbonisation, helping to sustain life well beyond our borough. We will create safer, pleasant places to walk, cycle and wheel. And we'll reduce dangerous toxins in our air, giving us more livable streets. Love brought me to what is Shaftesbury and Queenstown Ward in 2002. And that is when Battersea stole my heart. The ward I represent, situated between Clapham Junction and the Nine Elms development, has unique challenges and opportunities. I am proud that from Patmore right down to the Shaftesbury and Gideon Road estates, social housing is an important part of our history, but an even more important part of our future. There is one feature that unites all of the neighbourhoods right across the ward, from Thessaly and Stewart's Roads in the north to Dorothy Road near Clapham Junction, and that is the anger and dismay caused by traffic speeding through our streets. I know that my predecessor, Councillor Paula Walker, did so much to make our borough a more sustainable and livable place to live, work and play, and I hope to build on her and others' work. Implementing Vision Zero is our chance to ensure that other families do not suffer as mine did. A failure to act will cost lives. I hope you will all act in memory of all victims of road death and my beloved dad, by voting to support this motion. Thank you.